It's time for...
never really looked back. Lander more or less put away... never really looked back. Lander more or less put away in the first quarter of that game, but a chance for redemption with still 2 more tournament games remaining for the Lady Tigers before they take their official Christmas break. Lander set to take on Burns momentarily. We'll also have the second game of the day for you right here on 1330 KOVE and streaming video at county10.com. We are planning coverage of that 4 o'clock game. It is scheduled for a 4 o'clock game. Staff here at LVHS does a great job keeping tournaments that run all day long on time, but barring some kind of overtime game and a game preceding that 4 o'clock game could well be, give or take, 4 p.m. Burns Lady Bronx, the first opponent here this morning, 2-2 entering play this weekend. Their wins have come over Cheyenne South and Moorcroft. Losses to Southeast and a really tough outing against Tongue River. There's that 4 p.m. scheduled game for the Lander ladies. Wheatland's going to be a tough challenge later on. That a very difficult test for LVHS as the Bulldogs started this year into the weekend 4-0. 4 victories were pretty much in hand for the Lady Bulldogs. Bulldogs also state tournament contenders last year. They took care of Lovell in the game right before this one here this morning, too. That was a 53-37 final. So, tough team, Douglas, last night. Winnable game for LVHS here this morning, and then Wheatland comes calling another tough challenge for the Lady Tigers at 4 p.m. this afternoon. That's later on today, though. First up, Lander, 3-2 on the year, the Burns Lady Bronx. Entering the weekend 2-2, 2 games for the Lander ladies from the Lander Classic here at LVHS, coming your way starting next with a late afternoon matinee to follow. This is the Porter's Tailgate Show here on 1330 KOVE and county10.com.
I'm John Shade, your Lander Edward Jones financial advisor. We're all about financial investments, but we also value the investments of time, patience, and encouragement of our young athletes that they receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. That's why I, John Shade, with Edward Jones, is a proud sponsor of Lander Tigers and University of Wyoming on this station, 1330 KOVE. Call me today or visit edwardjones.com for all your investment needs. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Northside Body Shop in Lander is proud to support sports and student athletes this season. Northside Body Shop is a staple in the Lander community and is primarily engaged in auto body, paint, and interior repair and maintenance. If you hit a deer or have a vehicle accident, Northside will get your repairs handled and accept all forms of insurance. Javi and the crew got you covered at Northside Body Shop, 323 North 2nd Street, Lander.
Welcome back to Lander Valley High School. Day 2 of the Lander Classic as the Lander ladies all set to take on Burns. This has been the Porter's Tailgate Show here on 1330 KOVE as well as county10.com. Brought to you by Porter's Mountain View Supply in Riverton, your one-stop shop for grills, spas, stoves, pellets, and more. Porter's a proud supporter of Fremont County athletes, and we are underway. Good morning to you. After breakfast basketball from LVHS as the Lady Tigers, again, as we mentioned in the Porter's Tailgate Show, looking to rebound from a tough loss against Douglas last night. It is Lander with a basketball to start the game. Cycling their offense to Goggles at the top of the key. She spins left elbow and hands it off to Zoe Mulholland. Zoe gives to her left and now weave to McFadden on the right wing. High action early, but already Lander feels a little bit more in control of their set offense than they were last night. Kendall McFadden with a fake 3, pulls up from the free throw line, can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, though, from Goggles is put up. That's no good. Goggles fighting for the putback, and a jump ball is going to be called. Possession arrow is going to Burns, I believe it is. So a nice, long, sustained possession for the Lady Tigers to open the game, and already head coach Drew Powell implementing pressure against this Burns team. A lot of players on the roster, but not especially experienced, are the Lady Bronx of Burns. Bybee has the ball up high on the left with 7:07 to go in the first. Still scoreless on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Bybee lost the handle inside. That's stolen by Hayden Goggles. Goggles running the floor with help either side. Bounce pass to her left is Reinhardt. No good. Offensive rebound chance is also no good. Mulholland and the rest of the Lady Tigers have had great looks to start the game, unable to convert any buckets into points in the first minute 15, still scoreless. Burns looks right block with Medley, now kick out for 3, that's no good. Rebound fought for with a couple of Tigers there, trying to tie it up, but instead Burns comes away with the ball. Errant shot by Bybee, but the putback is up and good, and the first points of the game belong to the Burns Lady Broncs, up 2-0 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. So Goggles across the timeline looking to answer for the Tigers. She gives it up to Goklish on her left. Daisy with a crossover. Goklish pulls up left block, now cycled back to Goggles. Guarded nicely there, and so she has to give it up to Mulholland. Mulholland gives it up to her left. That's a three that's up and good from Dagan Reinhardt. And Lander takes a 1-point lead on the inbound. This will be a turnover as the ball got away from Jordan Boljak. Right back to the Lady Tigers. Goggles will do the inbounding from just in front of the scorer's table. Gets it back to Goklish, who crosses the logo. Under 6 to go in the first quarter on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Tigers up by 1. Nice backdoor cut and some contact down low on Reinhardt. Somehow she got the ball across the baseline to a teammate in Goggles. Now here's a pull-up for Zoe Mulholland from the free throw line. That's no good. Tipped out of bounds. Ball stays with LVHS. Mentioned this is Game 2 of the Lander Classic. Girls only invite here this weekend. Shout out to the Lander boys with a big victory over, I think it was Wheatlands last night in Douglas. That was a big victory for them. Back home in Lander as Goklish misses a runner in the lane. Lady Tigers trying to get back on the right side of things. Strong 3-0 start to the season. Have lost their last 2 to Powell and then Douglas last night. Both those teams are very good teams. Both state tournament appearances last year. Jump ball on the Burns possession goes back to Lander. Wheatland, that 4 o'clock test, also present in Casper last March. After the jump ball, Lander basketball with Goggles. Giving it to Mulholland. Zoe to her left, finds its way back to Goggles, top of the key, left elbow. Driving in is Hayden Goggles with a nice touch on the finish. Hayden Goggles is in the scorebook, and Lander is up 5-2. Some full court pressure again from the Lady Tigers on the inbounds. Broncs have yet to cross the timeline. They finally do. Nearly a double dribble, then nearly a turnover, but still black basketball as Burns is wearing their red on black road uniform. Steal from Daisy Goklish in transition. And Daisy has a bit of a run going along with Goggles and Deegan Reinhardt, who scored first for the Lady Tigers. 7-2 Lander. It's much more like what we're used to seeing. Burns not quite at the level of competition as Douglas, as we have a 10-second call forced by that full court pressure of Landers in the backcourt, and so another turnover back to LVHS. With a 5-point lead, Lander inbounding to Goklish. Goklish looking to go right. Mulholland is there, still a ways away from the stripe. She'll weave it back left, and she's replaced by Goggles at the top of the key. Instead, Lander wants to pursue that left baseline. Couple of dribbles in from Reinhardt, and then back out to Goklish. Mulholland driving in. They'll try the same thing on the right side with Goggles. Goggles skips it back left to Kendall McFadden driving in. Kendall with a nice touch off the glass as well. And already Lander up 9-2. Disparate scoring on the score sheet, causing problems in the backcourt on defense. This is the kind of basketball that Lander would like to play, forcing a timeout by Burns.
30-second timeout.
Nice reminder that Myers Gambles on Main Street in Lander. Excited to cheer on our student athletes again this year. Myers Gambles has winning deals. Remember, delivery is free within 30 miles of the store. That includes Riverton, so turn around. Shop in town. Also thanks to Wyoming Catholic College for sponsoring our broadcasts all season long. Wyoming Catholic College, proud to cheer on our local athletes. Your dedication on and off the court is admirable. Find them online at wyomingcatholic.edu. Out of the Burns timeout, first taken by either team. About halfway through the first quarter, 3:46 to go. And Lander up 9-2 on Burns here from day 2 of the Lander Classic. Lander taking every second of that timeout on their bench, just now getting back on the floor and showing it looks like some pressure again in the backcourt. They've already forced a 10-second call as well as a couple other bump out of bounds turnovers with that full court pressure here in the first quarter. Burns does break it this time, though. Start their offense on the right side with Brianna Bach, who's into the game. Ball finds its way to the corner. Maya Medley runs it down for Burns. Now it's skipping back to that same spot in the corner, and it's going to go back to Lander this time with another Burns turnover. So the brand of basketball Lander's going to have to play, not just in December, but in March if they want to get that far. Not the biggest, not the deepest, not the most experienced, so it's all about transition, scoring opportunities, and taking advantage of opportunities that good teams give you. Here's a three in the corner from Reinhardt, feeling it a bit, but that one's a little bit long, knocked out of bounds. Back to Lander, though. Goggles will do the inbounding. Waits for a screen. Thought about Goklish, but she's well defended, so it's Reinhardt on the right baseline. Dive inside to Brianna Lincoln, who puts up a shot. That's no good. Save Goggles. Nice effort, but back to Burns with Maya Medley starting things for the Lady Bronx. In transition goes Burns. Now they'll pull out for three. Much needed three for Burns to keep it close. Now 9-5 in the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Looking for the answer is Daisy Goklish with that high arcing moon ball of a three shot that she has. That's no good. And on the rebounds, Burns was fouled. They'll get Brianna Lincoln for her first. Did not see Brianna Lincoln in the game, any of the games last weekend. But she is a nice 2 or even 3 guard addition off the bench for this lineup. Speaking of which, Paisley Hollingshead down low at that 4 spot is going to check into the game at the next whistle, which comes right now as the ball's knocked out of bounds to Burns. And Hollingshead does replace Deegan Reinhardt. Yeah, this is a lot more like the flow, the personnel, the score sheet, the defense, the transition. This is a lot more like it for Lander. Last night was just one of those nights as Burns dives in for the layup. Free throws coming as Elaine Bybee was fouled. She's got 2 coming up. This could cut it to 2 if she were able to convert both. 2:17 to go in the first quarter. And Lander on top 9-5. Bybee's first free throw is no good. Hit the front, inside of the front rim, then bounced off the back. So the second from Lane Bybee, the senior. The only senior on the roster, if I have that right. She misses the second free throw. Bybee, the only senior for Burns in the starting lineup, to be sure. This is McFadden on the right wing with 2:08 to go. McFadden for Lander, gets to Lincoln. Lincoln's foot inside the line, takes a long 2. No arc on that shot, but great job by Lincoln tracking that down, getting it inside to Goklish, or Goggles rather. Goggles floater in the lane, that's no good. Ball skips away momentarily from McFadden. She corrals it and is fouled by Josie Barrett. Fortuitous end of that possession as the ball got away after the line drive shot from Brianna Lincoln, but hustle will do that for you. A lot more jump in this team's sneakers today than we saw last night. Brianna Lincoln on the inbound this time. She'll get it into the corner to Goggles and back to Lincoln. That's only a 2, but it's good anyway. Brianna Lincoln probably thought that was a 3. Her foot was on the line, and so Lander increases their lead to 6. Burns looking for a quick answer. 3 in the corner is no good, too strong. Hayden Goggles in transition. Senses pressure from behind and pulls up. Now Goggles driving in, wide open lane. Hayden Goggles was given up on defensively at the end of that play, and she recognized that. Took it to the lane for a easy layup. Goggles with 4 for the moment, leading all scorers. More trouble in the backcourt for Burns as the full court press forces a turnover. And in transition, Paisley Hollingshead has a bucket. Lander up by 10, just like that, with 1:03 to go in the first quarter. The pressure forcing trouble on the inbounds, knocked out of bounds, but back to Burns. This is in the first quarter. If you were to write down in a book what Lander wants to do this year, top to bottom, this has been their kind of first quarter. Brianna Lincoln in transition for 3, and Brianna Lincoln has 5 on the night. Lander pulling away in the first quarter, 18-5, as Burns has a little trouble initially with the transition, but does find numbers. Lander catches up, so Burns kicks to the corner, and a big 3 ball from Barrett in the corner. Nice shot, keeping Burns to within 10 with 33 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Daisy Goklish left open. That shot no good. Defensive rebound is pulled down by Burns. 25 seconds on the Lady Bronx possession. Ball nearly stolen away from Burns by Hayden Goggles. She was kind of sitting, lurking in the middle of the court in her point in the pressure in the front court, and was begging for that pass and got it near steal, but Goggles couldn't hang on to it, lost it out of bounds to Burns. So 21 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and Lander up by 10. Barrett will do the inbounding for Burns. Medley at the top of the key. Now skip back to the left side. This is Larkin. Larkin gets to Boljak. Boljak, a nice move inside. Not enough from the left hand, though, and with 8 seconds left, Lander has a transition opportunity. 5 with Hollingshead, 4 seconds. Paisley Hollingshead lays it in as time will expire, and Lander with a much better start to their Saturday here at the Lander Classic than their Friday ended. Lander up 20-8 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Back with quarter number 2 next on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
To Haskell Furniture and Flooring, now open in Riverton. Discover a huge variety of top brands like Ashley, Tempur-Pedic, Serta, Lazy Boy, and more. Our showroom is filled with stylish and comfortable furniture for every room. Come visit us at 2210 North Federal and transform your home today. Explore the exceptional quality and unbeatable prices we offer. Visit HaskellFurnitureandFlooring.com to learn more and start living in style.
Northside Body Shop in Lander is proud to support sports and student athletes this season. Northside Body Shop is a staple in the Lander community and is primarily engaged in auto body, paint, and interior repair and maintenance. If you hit a deer or have a vehicle accident, Northside will get your repairs handled and accept all forms of insurance. Javi and the crew got you covered at Northside Body Shop, 323 North 2nd Street, Lander.
Watch the Tigers and Lady Tigers varsity games all season on County 10's YouTube channel.
Burns on the inbounds after the change of quarter. Already trouble for Burns in the front court as Lander forces jump ball and a quick turnover after 7 seconds of second quarter action. Lander on top of Burns 20-8 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Welcome back to LVHS. Scott Fuller with you on a Saturday morning. 2 more games before Christmas, including this one for the LVHS ladies. Brianna Lincoln pulls up on Lander's next possession. That's a long 2 that's no good. Josie Barrett in transition, guarded by Goklish. Barrett gets by her initially. Goklish catches up. Pass inside to Larkin. Larkin kicks it back out. Now working right wing is Boljak. Boljak all the way under the basket. Now skips left corner. There's a 3. Much needed 3. And a big bucket for Burns. They cut it to 9. 7:19 to go in the second quarter, just underway in frame number 2. It's been all Lander so far. Burns doing just enough to hang in, though. Entry pass from Hollingshead down low to Goggles, who kicks it outside in front of her. Shot is up and no good. I think that was Addie Rounds taking the 3. No points yet for Lander in the second quarter. They lead by 10. Correct that score for you if you're watching at County10.com. That is the correct score, 20-10 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Burns cuts into that even further with a mid-range bucket, and so Burns is hanging in there, trailing by 8 as Brianna Lincoln crosses the timeline, now passes to her left. Hollingshead gets it back to Lincoln. She loves that spot. This time spins inside, pulls back to the free throw line. No good, just a touch too strong on that shot from Brianna Lincoln. And Burns with an opportunity. Window opening a little bit for the Lady Bronx after they were just smothered in that first quarter. But here's a steal from Goklish in transition. Should be an easy bucket, but Goklish missed it. Looks like she went in from a weird angle, and then the frustration foul after that from Daisy should be called on the rebound attempt. I did not know this score, by the way. I gave the Lander boys props for their Wheatland win. They also beat Douglas yesterday. I wasn't aware of that until we got that from the PA announcer just a moment ago. So how about the Lander boys in Douglas making the most of their trip? Wheatland, 5th ranked, and Douglas, I believe, was 3rd or 2nd ranked in the state heading into the weekend. Watch out for those Lander boys after the Christmas break. Be interesting to watch. Lander girls want to make a similar statement. On their way here in the first half, but Burns is hanging on. Here's a turnover forced by LVHS. They lead by 8 with 5:51 to go in the second quarter. McFadden picked up her dribble, got it to Mulholland for 3. That looked good, but missed just left, slightly offline as Medley comes down with a rebound for the Burns Lady Bronx. 5:38 to go in the half. Burns with that sense of urgency trying to force things a little bit, and they're get a turnover for their efforts as now Lander is in transition with Hollingshead. Gets it back to Rounds. Rounds gave Reinhardt a real good look from mid-range, but Deegan just couldn't make that fall. Lander a bit of a scoring drought here. Head coach Drew Powell for LVHS trying to implore his team to turn defense into offense. Nice defense up top there by Addie Rounds, nearly forcing a 5-second call. Burns does break out of it, though, and Larkin has the ball taken away by McFadden. Kendall McFadden, 2-on-1. Has help to her left, does bounce pass to Hollingshead. There's backup right behind Paisley, though, but the follow is no good, and we'll get a timeout again from Burns to discuss all these opportunities the Lady Bronx have had, not turning all of them into points, though. So Burns wants to step aside. We will, too. Back right after this on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
To Hampton Inn and Suites, your home away from home in Riverton. Enjoy top-notch amenities like our indoor pool, hot tub, and fitness center. Start your day with our complimentary breakfast. Stay connected with free Wi-Fi. Relax in one of our 89 beautifully furnished rooms. The Hampton Inn and Suites is proud to support the Riverton Athletics program and being a part of the Riverton High School Booster Club. We want to wish all student athletes the best this coming season and look forward to being a part of your success.
Get winter ready with Overhead Door. Don't let the cold in. It's time to prepare your garage door for winter. We'll give you safety, savings, and peace of mind. Our experts ensure your garage door is winter-proof with quality service and repairs. Trust the pros. Schedule your appointment today. Call 307-856-2210 or visit the website at overheaddoorriverton.com.
Watch the Tigers and Lady Tigers varsity games all season on County 10's YouTube channel.
Out of the Burns timeout, full court pressure again from LVHS, and it will force another turnover. At half court, Kennedy Larkin, it looked like just lost her footing. That may have been Josie Barrett, actually, for Burns. Turnover regardless, so just out of the timeout. Lander's going to get the ball back. Pass inside to Paisley Hollingshead. She gets it left corner, now up left wing. Swung back nicely to McFadden. McFadden looking for a screen. Instead, Hollingshead wanted to dive in, so they get the ball to Reinhardt. Reinhardt gets to Addie Rounds. Addie Rounds with a nice play, nice angle on the basket, but just couldn't finish the bucket. Lander's scoring drought continues. Burns looking to take advantage with Barrett. Gets the top of the key to Boljak. And that is Jordan Boljak, the junior, who gets Burns back to within 5. 20-15, halfway through the second frame here on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Lander has not scored in the second quarter until maybe now. Paisley Hollingshead with an open 3. The Lady Tigers can't buy a bucket, and Burns is slowly chipping into this lead. Ball's initially tipped away. Nice play from behind by McFadden, but Burns retains the possession. Long 3 from the right side is no good. Rebound's tied up, should be Lander. I'm going to stop guessing, because every time I'm guessing wrong. Possession arrow went back to Burns. So one thing on the floor I can't see is that arrow at the scores table right in front of me. It's facing the home crowd, the home side anyway, here at LVHS. So it is Burns basketball with 3:43 to go. Inbound to the right wing for the Lady Bronx. Nice entry down low at the right elbow, but that mid-range shot's no good. Daisy Goklish didn't realize she had trouble behind her, so it's stolen away by Bryn Bach. The nice defensive play to pick the pocket of Goklish, and now here's a long 3. Nearly went. And on the rebound, it's fought away by Burns, and Barrett will try to convert a 3. That is no good. Lander trying to settle things down and come up with a rebound. Jump ball. This time I do know for sure it is going to be Lander basketball. And so, a flurry of activity for Burns. They're able to chip a double-digit lead back down to 5. Lander in a bit of a scoring drought later in the first half. Playing great ball, though, are the Lady Tigers. Enough cushion right now, and eventually those shots will start to fall. Goggles trying to force that issue with a left-handed layup is fouled. So 2 free throws as she was unable to get the bucket, but Hayden Goggles has 4 points on the night and looking to add to that. 4 points on the late morning, should say. Goggles with the first free throw that is up and good. Do like these early season tournaments. They make for long days and awkward timing sometimes, but there is something as a player about morning games. It's just a little bit different, a little bit more fun. You haven't been at school all day long. Second free throw also good from Goggles. So 22-15 Lander on top of the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. And Burns looking to continue a little momentum with Boljak skipping it across the court. Ill-advised pass, though, stolen by Goggles. Hayden with a full head of steam down the left side. She's going coast to coast the whole time. Missed the layup, though, from that left side. Ball's now on the floor. Goggles came up with it, somehow got it to Reinhardt. Up to McFadden, right wing three. Perfect shot from Kendall McFadden. It started ugly for Lander off the miss, but they recovered very nicely. And straight into transition defense, they'll force a jump ball. Possession arrow to Burns, but that's that tenacious full court press that Lander likes to use. You can kind of tell when they're comfortable going into a game when they start with that press and it's effective right away. They add on transition to that, try to run you out of the gym and take advantage of as many mistakes as you can. It's one thing against Burns, which starts one senior, a bit inexperienced to the Lady Bronx this year. That Douglas team last night, 7 seniors, all 5 were starters. Starters were seniors. Burns, now the 10-point deficit. The ball stolen away again. Outlet to Goklish in transition. Daisy one-on-one. Nice move from left to right. Missed off the glass, though. It could easily be a 50-15 lead for Lander right now. Just not hitting those shots. But still with a 10-point lead. Bach driving in, some contact with a no whistle either way. Lost her footing maybe. Daisy Goklish with 1:44 to go in the first half. Nearly lost the dribble, but saved it inbounds to Reinhardt down low. Reinhardt back up top to Mulholland. Zoe has Kendall McFadden from her favorite spot, but she passes up the 3. Reinhardt thought about the 3 there from the left side. Back right to Goggles. She's driving in now. Floater off the glass, just not enough on the ball. Some contact, but no whistle. And they play on with Burns over the timeline. Goggles looking to steal the ball from behind as she was trailing the play, but Burns saves the possession for a 3. 3 ball misses everything and out of bounds to Lander. You get Brianna Lincoln back into the game. She'll replace Zoe Mulholland. No doubt Brianna Lincoln is a nice addition depth-wise to that 2 or 3 guard position. Almost sometimes serves as a third point guard behind Goklish and Goggles. It was Goggles to Lincoln. She swung it left, now back to Goggles. Goggles eyeing the right side from the 3-point line. Entry pass inside, knocked away, nearly stolen. The Lander gets it back. Reinhardt gets to McFadden. Left side is Goggles now, 48 seconds on the first half clock. Here's Lincoln with a 3 in the corner. That's no good. Not a whole lot of arc on her shot. And the rebound is pulled down by Burns with 40 seconds remaining in the first half. Nice strong drive from Barrett inside for Burns. Misses the layup. Ball's on the floor, tied up to Lander. 31.2 on the first half clock with a 10-point lead. Lander, see how they want to handle this. Can take all the time that they can manage. No shot clock in Wyoming high school basketball until next year. Lander already has their shot clocks installed here in the gym, not in use right now, but if Lander can and chooses to, they can run this clock down. They're working with 15 seconds remaining. McFadden with a 3. Kendall McFadden gets that to roll home, her second 3, and a much-needed big bucket late in this first half as there are 5 seconds left. Burns with 3 seconds, working right side. Bounce pass with time, that's good if it goes, but the shot at the buzzer will not fall for Burns, so Lander up 13, 28-15. Why not? Buckle Up for Life halftime show is coming up after this timeout. Recap a much more balanced score sheet from the first half of this Burns game, with Lander a comfortable, for the moment, 13-point lead. Back right after this on 1330 KOVE and county10.com.
Gambles is your one-stop shop for furniture, mattresses, and appliances in Lander, Wyoming. We have an unbeatable selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, and dining room. Plus, we have the latest trends in home furnishings. Our mattresses are comfortable and affordable, and our appliances are built to last. Whether you're looking for a new TV, sofa, or refrigerator, we have the perfect finish, style, and function for your home. Visit us at 420 Main Street in Lander, or check out our website, landergambles.com. Today.
Welcome to Bailey Tire Pros, your local tire and auto repair specialists in Riverton and Lander. Say no to endless online tire listings and experience the convenience of local service. With unbeatable prices and top quality tires, we're here to change the game. Quality service and expert staff ensure you always get the right fit for your car. Choose local. Choose Bailey Tire Pros, where your satisfaction hits the road.
Porter's Mountain View Supply, your local experts in fire and water. We've got everything you need for new installs to accessories, and don't forget our great selection of stoves, grills, and spas. We've been serving Wyoming for over 40 years, so you know you can trust us for quality products and expert service. Visit portersmvs.com or stop by our Riverton or Casper locations today. Porter's Mountain View Supply, located on 750 East Sunset Drive in Riverton.
Welcome to Fremont Chevrolet GMC Riverton, where we exceed your expectations and deliver the best service possible. Located on Federal in Riverton, we're here to make local car shopping fun again. Explore our wide selection of new and used Chevrolet and GMC vehicles. As truck and trailering experts, we offer a variety of options tailored to your needs. Experience exceptional customer service and competitive prices. Visit our website at FremontChevyGMCRiverton.com to find your next vehicle today.
Perfect Power is a proud supporter of athletics and student athletes all across Fremont County. Perfect Power provides services for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. Darren Hubble, owner and master electrician, has over 30 years of electrical experience. Darren's trustworthy team of professionals can get the job done right. Perfect Power, serving Fremont County and surrounding areas. Stop into 1320 West Main Street, Lander, or give him a call at 307-332-7184.
Wyoming Catholic College is a unique institution that offers an immersion in the Western tradition, the beauty and challenges of the wilderness, and the treasures of the Catholic spiritual heritage. Our mission is to provide a unique educational experience that nurtures the body, mind, and spirit. We are proud of our alumni success stories and the learning opportunities we offer through our academic outreach programs. Come and explore our campus in Lander, Wyoming.
This County 10 sports broadcast made possible by Myers Gambles, Central Bank and Trust, Wyoming Catholic College, Elevate Rehab, Goddard Construction, Bailey Tire and Auto Services, Haskell's Furniture and Flooring, Wyo Glass, Red & Kane & Associates, RE/MAX, the Wyoming Department of Transportation, State Farm Agent Tyler Watson, Eyes on Fremont, Hampton Inn & Suites, Maven, Edward Jones, John Shade, Sage West, Boyle Electric, Perfect Power, Baldwin Creek Rental Service, Northside Auto Body Glass, Fremont Chevrolet, and the Fremont County Prevention Program.
Lander Basketball is on the air. With coverage of today's games, here's Scott Fuller.
Glad to have you with us on a Saturday morning before Christmas across Fremont County or wherever in the country or elsewhere you may be listening and checking in from. streaming video at county10.com, as well as coverage here on 1330 KOVE 107.7 on the FM side for those of you in Fremont County. And this is the Wydot Buckle Up for Life halftime show, a much more like its first half from the Lander Tigers here against Burns. They lead 28-15 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard, does LVHS. Wydot reminding you, seatbelts save lives, buckle up so you can stay in the game every time, every ride. Yeah, you look up and down the score sheet, and you usually see Hayden Goggles and Daisy Goklish on top. Hayden did have a great first half with 6 points and a lot of defensive pressure, some good transition looks that she wasn't able to convert. Daisy Goklish, also a productive first half, but not on the score sheet. She only has 2, so it was up to the rest of the Lander team to chip in. Tigers are actually led in scoring in that first half by the senior Kendall McFadden, who had 8 points and a couple of three-pointers, helped out there. Hayden again with 6. And let's see, we had Brianna Lincoln adding 5. Paisley Hollingshead also off the bench had 4. Deegan Reinhardt had 3. And we mentioned Daisy Goklish's 2 points. That's a team basketball first half right there. And that's more or less exactly what head coach Drew Powell has told us that he wants to see from this team that he knows is going to be a little bit smaller. He knows they're going to be less experienced with fewer seniors and upperclassmen than some of the better teams that Lander's played already. Great example of that was Douglas last night. Lady Bearcats with 7 seniors on the floor. All 5 starters were seniors for Douglas. So that did not go well for Lander last night. They have rebounded very nicely here the next morning after. Well, it's just never fun to lose in the way LVHS did, and you can kind of carry that over to the next day and through the weekend tournament, or hit the reset button and play like you did the weekend before when Lander started 3-0 on the season, and that's exactly what the Lady Tigers have done. Not an insurmountable lead, though, for Burns. Would expect Lander to keep their foot on the gas when it comes to that full-court pressure. It has been very effective, forcing several turnovers of Burns, including a 10-second violation. Several balls knocked out of bounds, too. And so would expect almost no changes or adjustments from Lander. Having said that, head coach Drew Powell still has his team in the locker room trying to shore things up. Right now, enjoying a 28-15 lead on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. So we'll get set for the second half as Lander does find their way back on the floor now with about 2 minutes to go. One more timeout, and we'll be right back after this with half number 2 of Lander and Burns from LVHS and the Lander Classic next on 1330 KOVE and county10.com.
We are Maven. We focus on the fundamentals, clean, simple designs with the very best modern materials and technologies. We refuse to compromise our mountain town roots to follow the well-worn path to $1. We choose instead to make game-changing gear and use it in the places and pursuits that inspire us every day. We are Maven, a company focused on the design and creation of innovative products for and by the modern outdoorsman.
At Redden Kane & Associates CPAs, we serve clients across Fremont County and beyond with top-tier accounting services. From individual taxes to business consulting, our creative and precise team offers tax management, estate planning, and more. You'll find us engaged and meticulous to ensure each client gets personalized guidance. Visit rivertoncpa.com to learn more about our services and how we can help you achieve financial success.
Proud to support Lander Valley High School. We are KOVE.
So far, so good for the Lander Valley High School girls basketball team in day 2 of the Lander Classic. 0-1 on the tournament after a loss to Douglas last night. Wheatland still on the menu for Lander later on tonight. That's another real tough game for LVHS. Very similar to a Douglas team that gave them problems last night. But Lander's off to a good start for their Saturday with a 28-15 lead on Burns and the Lady Bronx. Wydot Buckle Up for Life halftime show has been brought to you by Wydot, reminding you that seatbelts save lives. Buckle up so you can stay in the game every time, every ride. We are right back to the game with Burns basketball working their offense with Josie Barrett. She feeds it inside, gets it back. Now Barrett herself dives in. Tough angle off the glass. Shot is short and ball's tied up. It'll go right back to Lander.
Possession of Lady Tigers.
Burns with some chance to warm up before the third quarter. Lander took just about all their time in the locker room and so just went to the bench and right back on the floor. Their first offensive possession for the Lady Tigers of the second half is Goggles. Has it back at the top of the key, driving in from the right elbow. Hands to her right side. Nice dive inside and an even better shot from Daisy Goklish, who pulled up with a nice jump shot from mid-range. Lander at 30 points, and they lead by 15. There is that full court pressure, causing problems in the backcourt for Burns. Able to cross the timeline was Josie Barrett, but the ball was knocked out of bounds as Goklish and Goggles combined with a double team there in the corner. Does stay Burns basketball. It's 48 seconds gone by in the third quarter. No points yet either way. Excuse me, Lander with points in this second half. They lead by 15. 7-minute mark of the third quarter. This defense up high from Goggles. Tipped that ball away from Bybee, and now trying to finish the play. Daisy Goklish with a nice steal up top. And Lander extends their lead to 32-15. More pressure in the backcourt from McFadden. Burns still has not crossed the timeline. And they are whistled for a 10-second violation. Second one of those we've seen caused by Lander pressure here in the game early. Lander doing a great job of creating their own offensive opportunities through defense in this game. It's kind of their secret sauce that they're aiming for on the season. Mulholland starts it for Lander. Now back up to Goggles. Goggles gets a screen. Lost the handle briefly, but a friendly bounce to Goklish, who keeps the play alive for Lander. There's Goggles down low with a nice spin move from the right block, but that doesn't fall, and Burns looking in transition to not allow Lander to set up that full court press that's been so effective. They do break the timeline to Boljack, but a pass to the top of the key is stolen by Daisy Goklish, who is all by herself with a left-handed layup that she missed. Too wide open, and she really was. Daisy Goklish off that steal. She didn't have a player, either team, within 40 feet of her as she went up from the left side. And sometimes you are too open in that situation. Psychologically, anyway. Goklish has a second chance at it now off the inbounds. The ball was knocked out of bounds by Burns after the missed layup. Shot attempt inside is no good. Daisy Goklish with a high arcing three. She'll make up for the missed layup with a three, and Lander extends their lead to 20 points. Full court pressure causing more problems for Burns, and here's a steal. Good anticipation from Zoe Mulholland. Right hand from the left side, and Burns needs a break. So Lander, strong start to the second half. We'll step aside, come right back after this with Lander up 37-15.
Construction is a local contractor dedicated to our community. We're proud to support our student athletes in every sport, on and off the field. We believe in hard work, crafting excellence, and building legacies one project at a time. We bring your vision to life. Visit GoddardConstruction.com to see what we can create for you. Goddard Construction, building Fremont County one project at a time.
Perfect Power is a proud supporter of athletics and student athletes all across Fremont County. Perfect Power provides services for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. Darren Hubble, owner and master electrician, has over 30 years of electrical experience. Darren's trustworthy team of professionals can get the job done right. Perfect Power, serving Fremont County and surrounding areas. Stop into 1320 West Main Street, Lander, or give him a call at 307-332-7184.
Proud to support Lander Valley High School. We are KOVE.
LVHS with a nice run to start the second half. They now lead Burns in day two of the Lander Classic by a margin of 37-15, extending what had already been a double-digit halftime lead to now 22 points. Full court pressure again on the inbound following the Lady Bronx timeout. Knocked back to Burns. But that full court press, that 2-2-1, has been absolutely relentless from Lander, and that's the way they like to play. Even when Burns was able to break it all the way down the floor into the basket just now, tipped out of bounds, and they'll have to reset. Will the Lady Bronx and inbound it with 5.5 to go in the third quarter. That's thrown off the back of Reinhardt on a sneaky play by the Burns inbounder. She tried to toss it off of Reinhardt's back, get it back, and then go up for the layup. She missed the shot. Lander on one of their zone inbound defenses has those two players with their backs literally to the inbounder. Burns trying to take advantage of that. Possession's going to be lost to Lander, though. Goklish in transition. Ball got a little bit ahead of her, and it's saved off of a Burns player, and so stays Tigers. 5:15 to go in the third quarter. Lander comfortable lead of 37-15 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Hayden Goggles with the inbound for the Lady Tigers. Finds Goklish in the corner. That's a nice play. Goklish missed it from that left corner. And the one and done after the out of bounds. Back to Burns. Burns running their offense from the right corner. Ball's tipped by Goggles. Lost track of it over the timeline. She gets it back. Goggles driving in with contact. Leans in, count it, and one. Hayden Goggles front to back on that play. Great job of the steal at half court. Collecting the loose ball, and then 1-on-2 with really no help in transition. Leaned into her defender from that right block, got the contact she was looking for, and made the bucket. So a free throw coming up for Goggles. Under 5 to go in the third quarter. Hayden missed the free throw. Rebound is loose on the floor, pulled away by Burns. And before Lander can set up that full court press, Burns crosses the timeline. They'll get Goklish with some aggressive defense right there in front of the scores table. That is only Daisy's first, though. Neither team in foul trouble. In the third quarter, only one team foul apiece either way. Burns going to inbound with Barrett right in front of us. 4:48 to go in the third quarter. Tigers 39, Burns 15 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Barrett not liking what she saw initially, and so finds a second inbound option. Defense up high from McFadden, nearly forces a turnover, but Barrett hangs onto the ball for Burns. Ball finds its way down low, fought for there from Landers Mulholland, and forcing a turnover was Zoe Mulholland. So Lander basketball. Zoe inbounds to Goggles. 4.5 to go in the frame. Goggles to Reinhardt. Weave up top to Goklish. Daisy with a nice move from the left side and gets it to go. Daisy Goklish all the way across the lane to get into double figures. She now has 11. And Lander up 41-15. Here's that full court press. Lander able to set it up after the made bucket. Ball handling from Barrett breaks it. Nice defense from McFadden. But Burns now running their offense with 4:05 to go. Burns just needs points and needs them quick. Way up high is Bybee. She lost her footing and traveled. And that's another turnover back to Lander. That's a credit to LVHS and their defense, playing this game just about exactly the way they would like to play every game this year. Even more, it's probably the most disparate scoring with as many players on the score sheet. Contributions from everywhere, including that right corner from Hayden Goggles. She now matches Goklish and has 11 points. Lander pulling away up 44-15, forcing another turnover to Goggles. Goggles trapped to points, can't make the bucket, but Hayden Goggles has a couple of free throws coming up. We talked some last weekend as we saw and kind of confirmed that head coach Drew Powell was going to want to press as much as he could, especially in situations against teams that he thinks he can, and it's that 2-2-1. Lander boys do something similar, and it's not about the pressure necessarily, but where in the back of the play the traps happen that keeps you thinking a little bit. Goggles makes her first free throw.
Wholesale changes for the Lady Bronx into Lady Tiger.
Just when you think you're clear of that trap or that press across the timeline, there's a quick double team on you, and that can lead to mistakes. It's worked perfectly for Lander in this game. Second free throw from Goggles, also good. Hayden Goggles playing just about the way we're used to seeing her play, offensively and defensively. Here's a steal from Brianna Lincoln. Brianna Lincoln thought about a pass to Hollingshead. Instead, takes it herself, and she has 7 points. Lander 46, Burns 15. Pressure and a turnover. Tipped right into the Lander bench and right back to the Tigers. Yeah, put this one on film and run this on repeat. This is what Lander wants to do every day. Goklish on the inbound with 3:11 to go in the third quarter. Goggles in the corner for 3. Thought she might make that one, but it was just a bit short. And the rebound's pulled away by Burns at the 3-minute mark of the third quarter. Burns able to break the pressure and has Lander's defense off balance a little bit. There's a 3 that was much needed for the Bronx, but that's no good. Ball saved errantly to Brianna Lincoln, takes that away for Lander. She dribbles out of a double team, and now she's all by herself at the free throw line. Lincoln off the back iron, no good. Nice follow from Goklish. Daisy Goklish puts it in and forces a timeout from her own bench. This will be Lander's first timeout to try to bottle some of that positive momentum for the remainder of this game. Things getting out of hand in a good way for Tiger fans. 50-15. Lander ladies on top of the Burns Lady Bronx. Perfect Power Electric in Lander supports our athletes on and off the field. Give Perfect Power a call today for all your electric needs. Right down the road here in Lander, 332-7184. 50-15 is the correct score on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. And while we're at it, let's get out of halftime there too. Apologies for that. But Saturday is off to a great start for the Lander Lady Tigers in their second hosted tournament in as many weekends. It's just a girls' tournament. Meanwhile, the Lander boys are taking Wyoming basketball by notice down in Douglas. They defeated both the hosting Bearcats, who were ranked, and Wheatland, who was also ranked. Both those wins coming yesterday. Inbound is just thrown out of bounds. Back to Lander. Out of the Tiger timeout. Goggles will do the inbounding for Lander. Gets up top to Paisley Hollingshead. Hollingshead drives from the three-point line to the free throw lines. Too strong off the glass, but Brianna Lincoln is there to extend the Tiger lead to 52-15. More pressure from Lander, more trouble in the backcourt for Burns. Ball's still on the floor, and it's finally stolen away and converted for a layup by Daisy Goklish, who has 15 on the morning. This is a clinic on pressure defense in the way that Lander wants to run it as the basketball flies into the lobby here at the Bob Casey Memorial Fieldhouse in Lander. Get a couple of subs in. Addie Rounds into the game. We'll also see for the first time number 20, Taylor Kostriva. I'll have to update that number. She entered the season wearing number 11. She's now wearing number 20. Got that fixed on our score sheet, and this will be Taylor's first action of the season that we've seen anyway. Taylor across the timeline, picked it up, got it to her right, and now Mulholland at the top of the key, driving down the lane right side. Ball is stolen away by Burns with minute 51 to go, 54-15 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Burns in transition. This will be Eklund, one of 3 Eklunds on this roster, so that was Alina Eklund, who put up a 3 that was no good, and Burns will clear their bench to get a bunch of subs in now. Basically tipping the cap to Lander and saying, good game. Not a whole lot that Burns can do to come back at 54-15 with a minute 36 to go in the third quarter on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. See how long Lander retains their full court pressure against backups as Mulholland runs the offense in the meantime for Lander. Bounce pass to Lincoln in the corner. Brianna Lincoln with a really nice touch in this game. Floater in the lane for 2. She's now in double figures. Third Lady Tiger to reach over 10 points on the score sheet. Like to see her addition. Not as effective last night, but then again, nobody was against Douglas for Lander. And you're starting to see Brianna Lincoln's potential off the bench again this year for the Tigers, as Burns runs their offense with under a minute to go in the third quarter. Double team down low, and the ball is knocked out of bounds, but stays with the Lady Bronx. With the margin being what it is, this will be a quick fourth quarter as the clock is now running clock. So it will only stop for official timeouts and team timeouts with Bach, Guarded by Lincoln, way away from the bucket. Barrett still into the game. I think she's the only starter on the floor for Burns as Barrett puts up a three. That's no good. Addie Rounds with the rebound now, forcing in transition. She'll look ahead to Kostreva. Lost the handle, but it's picked up down low. Nice play to save the possession. I think that was Rounds. And now driving in is Paisley Hollingshead from outside in. Lander 58, Burns 15. 3 seconds remaining in the quarter. This is good if it goes. Three is no good. Horn sounds, all Lander Tigers. Quarter number 4 with running clock and a big Lander lead, 58-15. Coming up next here on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
Gambles is your one-stop shop for furniture, mattresses, and appliances in Lander, Wyoming. We have an unbeatable selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, and dining room. Plus, we have the latest trends in home furnishings. Our mattresses are comfortable and affordable, and our appliances are built to last. Whether you're looking for a new TV, sofa, or refrigerator, we have the perfect finish, style, and function for your home. Visit us at 420 Main Street in Lander, or check out our website, landergambles.com. Today.
Porter's Mountain View Supply, your local experts in fire and water. We got everything you need for new installs to accessories, and don't forget our great selection of stoves, grills, and spas. We've been serving Wyoming for over 40 years, so you know you can trust us for quality products and expert service. Visit portersmvs.com or stop by our Riverton or Casper locations today. Porter's Mountain View Supply, located on 750 East Sunset Drive in Riverton.
The Tigers play here. KOVE Radio.
Good start to the weekend for Lander Tiger fans. Big weekend for the boys in Douglas last night, and the Lander ladies are taking care of Burns here at home in day 2 of the Lander Classic. Lander girls up 58-15 on Burns as Burns out of the change of quarter. Runs their offense and gets stuck in the corner. Ball is now on the floor. 3 players dive for it, and a jump ball is going to be the result of all of that. Back to Lander. Lander inbounds. Big lead. They will get their 4th win of the season. And they will be 4-2. Only losses to very good teams. Powell last weekend and Douglas last night. So Wheatland's going to be a fun one later on today with all this Lander confidence and momentum. Wheatland, a state tournament appearance last season. Very good team. Undefeated heading into the weekend as Burns tries a 3. That's no good. Rebound is pulled down, but then stolen away. So Burns still with the basketball with Josie Barrett driving in from the left elbow. Puts a floater up. Good looking shot, but missed it. And so now Lander with possession. And in transition, there's a travel as Addie Rounds lost it on her hip. Lost the handle on her left hip and then traveled when she had anticipated dribbling instead. So a rare Lander turnover in this game. 7 different Lander ladies on the score sheet. 3 of them are in double figures. The usual suspects in Goklish and Goggles. Brianna Lincoln off the bench has 11 as well. Burns running their offense from the right wing. Bybee hands it off to Barrett. Barrett now hands it to Irene Nadler into the game. A lot of subs into the game for Burns. Get some experience to these younger players as this game is now out of reach for the Lady Broncs at 58-15. And we're in running time. This will be a quick 4th quarter. So the clock will only stop for official timeouts and team timeouts as Lincoln gets the inbound. Ball finds its way right to Paisley Hollingshead. Back up to Brianna Lincoln. Top of the key. Dribbles a couple times to her left. Bounce passes to nobody. She was looking for, I think, cutting teammate inside. Ball's on the floor in the backcourt. Just to finish that up, I think it was Reinhardt that Lincoln thought was going to zag when she zigged. So jump ball is forced off of the inbound, and Burns, after all that, will hang on to the ball with 5:27 and counting in running time in the 4th quarter. 58-15 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Lander's on the right side of things. In the first game of 2 from the Lander Classic in Lander. So mention that Wheatland game. If you don't have plans and want to come out for what may be a fun game, it's a tough test in the Wheatlands, but Lander's going to be feeling pretty good after this game as Burns scores their first points in a long time on a nice cut and a shot off the glass. Under 5 to go, 58-17 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. It is Kostreva seeing her first action of the season with a bounce pass up top to Mulholland. To Lincoln. Back to Mulholland, who is fouled as she dives in off the left block. So a couple of free throws for Zoe Mulholland. One of 2 seniors in the usual starting 5 for Lander. These are also the only 2 seniors on the team. Which is obviously something you know about heading into the season. So head coach Drew Powell has the first free throw from Mulholland is no good. Kind of factoring that into his game plan as to what the DNA of this team he wants to look like. And it's what you've seen today here this morning. It is transition, it's pressure defense, shooting from multiple different scores on the floor. We've seen everything Lander wants to do this year in this one game. Second free throw from Mulholland is no good. Rebound pulled down by Hollingshead. She stepped on the baseline. So turnover back to Burns. Clock continues to roll in running time, 58-17. Lander on top of Burns on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. Lander has pulled off of that pressure with Burns backups into the game. Justice Eklund. One of 3 Eklunds on this Burns roster lost the ball out of bounds. Not sure of relation specifically, but you would imagine. 3 Eklunds on this roster for Burns. McFadden thought about a 3, chooses to milk some clock instead and passes to her left. Ball now back left corner. McFadden got it to Reinhardt. And now back to McFadden. Beyond the left elbow. Passes inside Addie Round. She spins around in the lane. Trying to kick it out. Nearly lost the possession, but it's saved back up top. And now Hollingshead on the left side. Ball up top to Kostreva. From the right wing with 2:45 to go. Lander milking the clock on their way to victory number 4 on the season. Lander playing catch now along the right side. 2:32 to go in the game. It's Reinhardt. Kostreva. Lander just playing keep away. Back to Kostreva. Now to her right. Now up to Reinhardt. Burns can't do anything to stop any of this. Backdoor cut. Will cycle back up top to Hollingshead. Paisley drives in with a beautiful floater, but that missed just right. 2-minute mark of the game. Hollingshead with a steal. Gets the ball back to Lander. McFadden had a wide open look, but she wanted the bounce pass down low instead. Here's a mid-range 2 from the right side. That's no good. Ball's on the floor and a tie-up. No, foul's going to be called.
Burns foul number 10. Kennedy Lake, first personal, second team foul.
Lander without a foul in this fourth quarter. Second for Burns. Minute and a half to go and running time. Kostreva off of the inbound. It'll be Addie Rounds. And now left corner McFadden. Skip pass across to Kostreva, who lost it off her fingertips. Out of bounds to, I'm going to say out of bounds to Lander. Minute 17 and running time. Lander 4-2 on the year. Has Wheatland coming up at 4 o'clock. Should be a fun one. Do plan to have coverage for you on 1330 KOVE and county10.com. Lander on the inbound with 64 seconds remaining. Kostreva wants to be on the score sheet. And it's Taylor Kostreva, the sophomore, adding to Lander's lead of now 61-17 on the Fremont Chevy scoreboard. 51 seconds left. Here's Kostreva on the steal and goes in for the layup. She has 5 points in the last about 20 seconds of game time. I think there's 8 Lander Tigers on the score sheet now. 3 of them in double figures. 30 seconds remaining with Burns running their offense. Nearly lost the handle up top. But it's Alina Eklund. Now working right for the Lady Bronx. Pass down low. Back up top to Bach. Brianna Bach with a good look at a 3, but that missed out of bounds, despite Bach's best efforts to try to save that. That's going to be the end of your basketball game with 5 seconds on the clock, and now 4. Lander doesn't even have to inbound if they don't want to, but they will. As the horn sounds, Lander Lady Tigers 63, Burns 17. That's a lot more like it on day 2 of the Lander Classic. We'll be right back with the Bailey Tire and Auto postgame show to wrap this one up. Coming up on 1330 KOVE and County10.com.
To Fremont Chevrolet GMC Riverton, where we exceed your expectations and deliver the best service possible. Located on Federal in Riverton, we're here to make local car shopping fun again. Explore our wide selection of new and used Chevrolet and GMC vehicles. As truck and trailering experts, we offer a variety of options tailored to your needs. Experience exceptional customer service and competitive prices. Visit our website at FremontChevyGMCRiverton.com to find your next vehicle today.
Who is RE/MAX All-Star Realtors? We're a professional real estate agency where your success is our priority. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, we're here to guide you every step of the way. With unmatched professionalism and a track record of delivering results, we're your trusted partners in real estate. Your success is our top priority. Find your perfect property with RE/MAX All-Star Realtors. Contact us at 307-856-7827 or visit RE/MAXRiverton.com.
Watch today's games on the County 10 YouTube channel or catch radio coverage on KOVE 1330 AM 107.7 FM.
Welcome back to Lander Valley High School. Scott Fuller wrapping up the first of 2 that we have for you from the Lander ladies here at the Lander Classic, as the Lady Tigers took care of Burns 63-17 for their 4th victory of the season for LVHS. That is, Burns heading into the weekend. Not sure about their tournament play to this point yesterday, but they were 2-2 heading into the weekends. They will fall to at least 2-3 on the season. So nice bounce back from the Lander Lady Tigers, having lost 77 to, and it's probably best I can't find that score. That was a forgettable night last night. 78-33 was the Douglas score last night. Douglas fully expects to be back in the state tournament. So does Lander's opponent this afternoon, the Wheatland Bulldogs. That might be an interesting matchup with Lander having buried Burns, and now with maybe a little bit of confidence and a model for what they want to do in game number 2. That might be interesting to follow along with. We'll have that game for you a little bit later, but right now this is the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show. It's brought to you by Bailey Tire and Auto. Proud to support our local athletes. Our full-service tire and auto shops at 755 South Federal in Riverton. Also right down the road here in Lander at 1305 West Main. Bailey Tire and Auto. Scoring sheet for Lander is exactly how Coach Drew Powell wants it to look, one would imagine, as 3 Lady Tigers finished in double figures. Usual suspects of co-point guards Daisy Goklish and Hayden Goggles are there, with Goklish having 15 points and Goggles adding 13. Brianna Lincoln also in double figures on the score sheet off of the bench. A couple of threes helping out there. And Lincoln had 11. Also scoring for Lander, Kendall McFadden, the senior, with 8. Paisley Hollingshead off the bench had 6. Taylor Kostreva, first we've seen her play all season. She had 5 in just about a 15-second window in the second half. She got all 5 of those points. And Deegan Reinhardt added 3 points. So you did have 8 Lander Tigers on the score sheet. And productive scoring by your usual suspects in Goklish and Goggles, and great defensive pressure in the full court. If you went back on the score sheet, Burns scored 2 points in the second half. Is that all they managed? And Lander only increased their offensive output in the third and fourth quarters. So that's what we're looking for. Lander improves to 4-2 on the year. One more game before the Christmas break. That is the Wheatland Bulldogs, who come calling at 4 o'clock. We are in tournament play all day here, so that 4 o'clock is a rough estimate usually. But Lander does a great job as a facility and a hosting venue and school of keeping these tournaments on time as they run all day. They really do run a great tournament here in Lander, both weekends, last weekend and this weekend. So I would expect 4 o'clock to be the start time, but that's dependent on any crazy, overtime situations in the game between Cody and the Phillies on the floor right now. They have a game coming up. Lander will not see them this weekend. Douglas last night. Burns with a victory today for the Tigers. Wheatland Bulldogs. Next up, we'll have that game starting at about 3:45 or so here on 1330 KOVE and county10.com. We do, here on the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show, have a chance to talk to head coach Drew Powell. And, Coach, a nice rebound from a tough Douglas team last night. It seemed to me this game here this morning is just top to bottom exactly what you want your team to look like all season long. Transition offense. Yeah, Goklish and Goggles and double figure score off the bench. 8 different Lady Tigers scoring. It's got to be the recipe for just about every game.
Yeah, I mean, we do want to play fast, and some teams it's a little bit harder to play fast against because they're good in defensive transition as well. I thought we could, capitalize on some turnovers out of the press today. Do really want to play that way. I thought in the first half, I think we were 7 for 27 from the 2-point area, and if we just get a little bit better at going into contact, finishing towards the rim rather than away from the rim, some of those go in, and instead of shooting 27%, we're probably closer to 50 or 60%. But yeah, I think we played a good game. I think we had some girls come in and contribute that maybe don't generally do that. But I was glad that we kind of rebounded and had some more confidence today just to shoot the ball. Everybody that's on the floor has to want to shoot the ball. We have to be a threat if we're out there.
Saw last night Brianna Lincoln's first appearance of the season, I believe, and then today Taylor Kostreva into the game. Talk about your bench with those two ladies and the rest of the bench.
So Bree was out with a concussion. She's a junior. She'll probably play a little bit more here coming up. She needs to get in a little bit better shape at the moment, but contributed some big minutes today so far. And then Taylor Kostreva, she's a sophomore. Really wanted to get her first varsity points today if we could. She had a couple opportunities last week and just didn't quite get one to go, but was really proud of her efforts and how hard she played.
Coming up at 4 o'clock this afternoon should be a good matchup with Wheatland. Again, another state tournament appearance last year for them. Second in 3 games you're going to play against a really tough team. Great to build off of this morning's win, but what's the plan for the rest of the day, and what do you know about Wheatland that you want to kind of take advantage of if you can?
They got a good ball handler and a good player, and Lily Anderson. She can pretty much do it all. The big thing with that team is stopping her. I think she had 30 against Powell yesterday, plus or minus. But if you can stop her, I think we can really stop the bleeding early with her. It's just getting some feet in the paint. She's really good at getting to the rim and then making sure we have ball pressure on her. She is quick, but I think that we're up to the challenge.
Head Coach Drew Powell, congrats on the victory, and we'll see you a bit later on this afternoon.
All right, thank you.
And with that, the thoughts of head coach Drew Powell following a big victory, 63-17. As head coach is never going to be satisfied. It seemed to me to be a perfect top to bottom, just about perfect basketball game. And of course, you're always going to find inefficiencies and room for improvement, but that's all part of the process too. But the win's a win, and a big win for Lander with another tough test against the Wheatland Bulldogs. 4-0 entering the weekend. I think they did get that victory yesterday to 5-0. So another chance for Lander to test the top limits of how good they are early in the season. But a great start to the morning as 3 Lady Tigers were in double figures and 8 Lander players scoring on the morning. Lander coming away with a 63-17 victory over the Burns Lady Bronx. And with that, we'll wrap up the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show as well as coverage of this game. 4 o'clock is the scheduled start time for Lander and Wheatland. We'll have that game for you here on 1330 KOVE and streaming online at county10.com. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Hope to have you right back here at 4 o'clock for more Lander Lady Tiger basketball on 1330 KOVE and county10.com.